Hi you guys, welcome back to another video. So for today I want to talk about my pregnancy and labor and delivery with my first baby. For those of you that are new, I do have 3 kids. I have a 7-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a little boy that just turned 2 less than a month ago. I know when you are first pregnant, when it's your first baby, you don't really expect any of the unexpected that could happen, like, I don't know, gestational diabetes or having a premature baby or having a C-section. You don't think of those kind of things. And my first pregnancy, completely different than my second and third. And my delivery, my labor was with my first, it's completely different than my second and my third. Before I get started, I do want to mention that my husband is biologically not my daughter's father. So when I get into the story, you guys, I don't want you guys to think like, oh wow, her husband was a crappy father back then or something, because he didn't even know her then. He's not biologically her dad, but when they did met, he has always 100% has always treated her like that is his baby. That's his first baby. That's his daughter. When she first called him dad for the very first time, I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And he goes, no, like, if that's how she sees me, leave it. And I knew that. I knew when he said that, like, that he was the one. But anyways, so yeah, just know that my husband is biologically not my daughter's father. Okay. So I ended up pregnant, or finding out, when I was 19 years old. My birthday's in September, and I found out the following year, March, April-ish, that I was pregnant. I am supposed to wear glasses, and I didn't wear them, so when I took a pregnancy test, I didn't see the second line to my test. So I was like, oh, I'm not pregnant. There's no way. It's negative. Not only that, but I think I kind of took it a little early. I don't think I'm that blind, but so I took a test, and I'm pretty sure I took it really early because I didn't see the second line. So I had, like, everything in my mind was like, okay, I'm not pregnant. I would always get these stomach pains, like in the lower pelvic area. And I remember years and years ago, before I ever got pregnant with my daughter, I told my mom, my stomach's hurting, like something's going on. So we went to the doctor, got an ultrasound. It was nothing. Years passed, pain hasn't came. Years passed, and the pain comes back. So I was like, okay, this is something. There's no way this is nothing. The pain is back. When I remember working one night, and I would literally, like, hunching over, holding my stomach, crying, saying I need to go home. Like, this is so bad. There's no way, nothing's wrong. I went and immediately told my mom, like, I need to go to the doctor's tomorrow or something. Like, I'm in so much pain. I can't walk. And so she made an appointment for me the next morning, and we went. And for those of you that know, back then I used to watch my younger brothers when basically they were babies. So when I was little, I've always wanted 4 kids, but then I didn't want any kids because I was in college, working, and I was partying. I was out having fun. So I didn't want any babies then. And at the time, I was with my boyfriend, so Scarlett's bio dad, for about 5 months already. And we'd never even had a talk about babies, or if he wanted kids or anything. We never talked like that. And so she took me to the doctors, and we went, and the doctor asked the normal question, are you sexually active? Are you pregnant? Do you think you're pregnant? No. I don't think I'm pregnant, because I took a test, said negative. He said, okay, well, let's take another one, and if it comes back negative, we'll go into further details and do more testing. Okay, fine. So I went, peed in a little cup they give you with your name on this, like the sticker on the cup with your medical record number, whatever. Peed in the cup, put it in a little window so they can test it. And I went back to the room that I was in, and not even 5 minutes later, he comes back in, completely quiet. So I'm like, okay, something's wrong. Because I was expecting, like, if I was pregnant, he'd come in and say, congratulations, you're pregnant. And he didn't say anything. Dead silent, quiet. So I was like, this is bad. Something's wrong. So I'm thinking the worst already. And I'm like, oh my god, what is happening? Typing away on his computer, and I'm freaking out inside. I'm texting my best friend. I was like, something's wrong, like I don't know what's happening. He's just quiet, he hasn't said anything. Put my phone, or I turned my phone off from after I was texting her, and he turns around, he looks at me, and he goes, well, you are pregnant. And I swear, like, everything else that he said after that, I don't even remember, because I was like in my head like, what? Oh my god, my mom's outside, like out the door, she's gonna kill me. Oh my god, I'm so scared. Like, what am I gonna do? I don't want a baby, I'm not ready for a baby. But I mean, I did what, I don't know, like, if I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant. I'm keeping the baby. I'm not, and it's not that I'm against it, I'm totally not. Like, if your body, your choice, whatever, I don't care. But for me, like, I'm not, I just can't. And so I'm freaking out. I don't even want to leave the room because my mom's right there. She's just gonna kill me. Prescribed me, and then the doctor prescribed me prenatal vitamin to pick up from the pharmacy. So I walked out. She goes, so what happened? I go, nothing. And she goes, okay, did the doctor prescribe you anything? And I kind of feel like she had a feeling. So I go, yeah, but I don't need it. And she goes, well, what did he prescribe you? And we get into the elevator, and it's just me, her, and my younger brothers are sitting in the stroller. And she's like, so what did they prescribe you? What happened? And I had my paperwork, so I just had the paperwork, gave it to her. Looked straight, didn't even look at her. All of a sudden you hear, you're pregnant? And I go, yep. And that was it. And I remember when we were driving on the way home, I was texting my boyfriend at the time, like, hey, we need to talk, come pick me up from the house, from my house. And I remember just looking over at my mom, like, secretly, like she didn't know, and I can see her crying. I was like, oh my god, like, this is bad. And I don't even remember how I told him I was pregnant. I don't even remember. It just, I don't know. Fast forward, my pregnancy was completely normal, completely fine, no issues. All my blood work was fine. All of my, you know, the pee test, whatever, they always make you pee every time you have an appointment, and they test it, like, everything was fine. My blood pressure, fine. My ultrasounds that I had with her, fine. Everything was normal, everything was great. When I was about, I want to say 15 weeks, Scarlett's biological dad had moved to Washington State. He moved there for work to save money, because obviously we're having a baby now, and to get away from his friends that he was around. And I don't really want to talk negative about him, but let's just say he was at a place where he was doing bad things. I guess that's just the best way to put it. He was doing bad things. Anyways, so his parents have given him a choice to move out of their house and he has to find his own place, or go move to Washington State where they have a good family friend that owns a business and he can work for them and make some money. And so he chose to go out to Washington State, and I understood that, like, obviously, like, babies aren't cheap. And so he went to work, and then he came back, I want to say in my 23rd week of pregnancy, 22, 23, I don't know. And ever since he came back, I know with my hormones, like, my hormones were whacked. I was everywhere. If someone annoyed me, like, I don't know, like, I guess it was when I was pregnant with Scarlett, his voice, and it sounds so horrible saying it out loud, but his voice just, it got on my nerves. I couldn't stand being near him. I couldn't stand seeing him. It irritated me. And I remember I was 25 weeks pregnant, and I was having Braxton Hicks contractions. And I told my mom, and she said, "You need to drink more water." Mind you, I've been drinking water like crazy. And if you know me, I'm not a water person. I hate water. And I'd rather have a Coca-Cola. When I'm pregnant with Scarlett, I'd have a mini can of Coke. And sometimes, one a day. And sometimes I wouldn't even finish it. I'm just completely, strictly water. And so I knew I wasn't dehydrated, but okay, I'll drink more water. This pain is obviously not right. And flash forward to exactly 26 weeks. It was on Friday, I remember. It was on a Friday. It was 26 weeks that day. And I started having contractions. Completely different than Braxton Hicks. And I remember him and I were kind of fighting, like we were having an argument. We were just bickering and bickering. And so just the tension there, obviously I knew it made that worse. Made my contractions worse. And so I called labor and delivery, and I explained to her what was going on. Like, I'm having contractions, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I've never felt this before. And she said, because you are 26 weeks, you need to come to Kaiser in Montana. I had planned on delivering my daughter at Kaiser, Ontario. If you are familiar with Southern California, you know Ontario, Montana, Riverside, all that, San Bernardino County. So I had planned on delivering my daughter at the new hospital back then, Kaiser in Ontario. But I guess they didn't have a NICU in case I was in labor. They needed a NICU. And I was only 26 weeks. So we get to the doctors, and they checked me, and I was already 4 centimeters dilated. Mind you, I'm just 26 weeks pregnant that day. She told me, "Hun, you're not leaving this hospital until you have this baby." I started bawling my eyes. There's no way, like, 26 weeks? That's scary. And so I remember calling my mom, and I was crying. I was like, they're not letting me leave. They said I can't leave until I have her. And I guess I'm already 4 centimeters. Like, they think she's gonna come by the end of the weekend. My mom left work, and she came to the hospital, and they put me on I don't even know, morphine. I don't know, they drugged me up. I was on steroids. I was sleepy. Magnesium. I had everything. I had a catheter inserted because I couldn't stand up. Excuse me. I wasn't allowed to stand up because they wanted me to keep the baby in. So I literally, mind you, I'm on the hospital bed. The bed's this way, right? And they had to tilt the bed this way a little bit. So I'm basically leaning back to keep the baby in. Had a catheter in me, couldn't get up to pee. Couldn't eat, couldn't have ice chips, couldn't have water. It was the worst. The worst. It was so bad. Anyways, so yeah, I had a catheter in me, wasn't allowed to walk, I wasn't allowed to shower. I had a nurse that would come in and wash my hair. I think what irritated me more about it too, though, was that Scarlett's dad and some family members, I'm not going to mention, but some family members have showed up to visit me eating food in front of me, and I'm so mad. Like, I can't eat. How dare you come into my room? Excuse me. How dare you come into my room and eat your food? Like, I understand you're hungry, but do that before you see me. Or out of my room, finish your food, and then come see me. Like, I can't even have water or ice chips. Like that, it was that bad. And so, I remember one night, my family came, and we had a talk, and they said, you know, you need to be nicer to him. Because I kicked him out a few times. I kicked my daughter's father out of the room. And I said, leave. I don't want you here. I don't want to see you. Get out. And so my family had a talk with me and said, you know, like, you're being mean. Little did they know, like, they didn't know the issues we were having, because I'm the kind of person that if I have issues with my boyfriend or my husband, like, I'm not going to go talk to my family about it. Because if we end up doing good later, like, I don't want them to bring that up. It's between me and this person, and only, you know, like, I don't know. So anyway, I didn't say anything, and I was just like ignoring him, like, if only you guys knew why I'm kicking him out and what he is doing right this second as I'm laying in the hospital bed, like where he's at. And anyway, so yeah, I was a bad person. I'm in labor. I'm a bad person because I kicked him out, whatever. He comes and sees me. So I turned 27 weeks the following Friday, and he comes at like 8 at night. Comes to see me, and he stormed out. He was pissed because I told him, please stay with me tonight. Stay with me tonight. I'll come back later. I got stuff to do. I knew what he was gonna do, and don't get me wrong, it wasn't cheating. It had nothing with cheating. It wasn't like that. It was bad stuff, but it wasn't cheating. If you can figure out what it is, I'm cool. Anyway, so, well, as far as I know, he'd never cheated on me. I don't know. Anyway, he didn't want to stay, and so I started crying, and then my contractions started coming back, but I didn't say anything because I was afraid. Like, morphine and the steroids and the magnesium and all that, it burned. I had the needle in my hand right here, and I swear, like, my hand was on fire. It burned. It hurt. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to get more of it. I didn't want to say anything. So I'm over here on my phone. Mind you, before that, they did an ultrasound. She was still breech. They didn't want to turn her because she was too little. So I'm over here looking on YouTube, seeing how they do C-sections. And don't ever do that, you guys. It was so bad. The doctor comes in and looks at the contraction, like, monitor. It's like, honey, you're having contractions. Do you not feel that? And I lied, and I go, yeah, just a little bit. And he goes, you're having a lot. I need to go get the doctor and see what he says. The doctor comes in about 10 minutes later. He's like, he looks at it and he goes, prep her up. She's having the baby now. We've got to get her in for an emergency C-section. And I'm over here laying down, and I get up. What? I'm by myself, okay? Midnight now. And I'm by myself in the hospital. No one's with me, obviously. Like, my family has work the next day. And my aunt lives 5 minutes from the hospital. She worked at that hospital, but it was midnight. I called my daughter's father. I called him twice, and I said, hey, it's up to you, whatever you want to do. I'm having a baby now. Whether you come or you don't, that's on you. But they're prepping me up to have a C-section. I gotta go. And I hung up. And he was all the way in Pomona at the time. So Pomona to Fontana, that's kind of a drive. And so I didn't really expect him to get there, or I didn't expect him at all to get there. Honestly, I didn't expect him to come at all. And so I called my aunt, and I was so nervous because it's midnight. But I called my aunt and I said, hey, I'm having a baby now. I'm having a C-section. She goes, I'll be right there. She made it in time. She made it. She was in a room with me. So they prepped me in. They get me into, they prepped me for surgery. And they had me sit like this so that they can give me a spinal tap. I don't know, not an epidural. It's like spinal something. And when I sat, I was like, it feels weird down there. I can feel something coming. The nurse came in, put her hand on my shoulder, and shoved me, like, put me down. And I was like, oh my god, this is so bad. I'm crying. I'm crying so bad. And so they do that, then the doctor comes in and says, can you feel this? And it's like, I don't know, whatever, he has some medical tool on, like, going like this on my foot. He's like, do you feel that? And I go, no. And he goes, okay. Puts the drape up. My aunt's sitting here behind me. She's holding my hand. And I had a C-section, or they cut me open, and I wasn't in pain. I can feel it, like the tugging and the pulling. But, like, it didn't hurt. Obviously, it's not supposed to hurt. But I can feel it. So I just felt a lot of pressure. And I think I was more scared of just the whole thinking of a C-section. You're getting cut open, and the whole, I'm having a baby. I'm only 27 weeks now. Barely 27 weeks. Haven't even made it through my 3rd trimester yet. I'm freaking out. And they said, congratulations. It's a girl. Room got quiet. And I'm freaking out. And I turn over to where they had her, and God knows what they're doing with her. My vision just went blurry, and before it went completely blurry, I just seen like 4 or 5 nurses near her. Don't hear any crying. So all I remember saying is she okay? And then everything went blurry. And then maybe 30 minutes later, everything came back, and I was like, is she okay? Where is she? They took her to the NICU, and they rolled me in to go see her. Scarlett's dad made it. He obviously wasn't in the room, but he made it. He came, and they let him go see her first. I was so mad. But he took a picture, and he showed me the picture, and it was scary because she had a breathing tube. She was literally wrapped up in plastic. It was scary. I've never pictured my labor, my baby, I've never pictured it. I didn't even know what a preemie was when I got pregnant, because I didn't know anyone then that had a preemie. And it was just so weird because like everything was normal. My pregnancy was normal. I had no issues. And so they wheeled me in to go see her, and like I couldn't even touch her because she was so wrapped up in plastic, and she had stuff all over her face, and you can just see wires all around her. It was just the most traumatic thing ever. And she was born on September 21st of 2012, and she had only weighed 2 pounds. And I guess for being that early, not 2 pounds, sorry, 3 pounds. For being 3 pounds that early, they said it was pretty good. But not to get your hopes up. That kind of irritated. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be told that if my baby was on the verge of dying. I don't know. It was just bad. And so I would walk and see her, and obviously I was in the hospital for a few days. I went and seen her every day when I could. I needed help. And so I remember I got discharged. I got discharged on my birthday, and it was the crappiest birthday I've ever had. I've never pictured having my 20th birthday, leaving the hospital without my baby, not knowing if my baby's gonna make it through the night, not knowing what's gonna happen. And I felt so guilty, like, why her? I would have rather have thrown up every single day until I given birth. I would have rather get my foot run over again, over and over and over, than to go through that again, or have her go through that. I mean, she basically was fighting for her life. And it was so traumatic. It was bad. Anyways, I left for my birthday, and my friends and my family tried to make the best out of it, and they took me out to go have pizza. And no, it wasn't their fault. I wasn't up to celebrating it, but then I appreciate that they did this for me. And towards the end of it, I was like, I just want to leave. I don't want to be here. I want to go see my baby. And so I ended up staying at my aunt's house for the few months that my daughter was in the hospital, so that every time she went to work, I went with her to work, so that I can be in the NICU every day from 7 in the morning to like 5 or 6 p.m. at night. I was in the hospital Monday through Sunday, those hours, seeing my baby. And when I wasn't there, I called, and it was so funny. Like, they called, yes, Jozlyn, she's fine. It's like they knew I was calling. I don't know, I called all the time. And it was just so crazy. She passed her hearing test. She passed her vision test. She wasn't allowed to leave until she got up to her birth weight, which my due date was December 5th. And she came home November 14th. She came home at 5 pounds. She passed her car seat test. She beat all odds. Say that. They did a brain scan. Her brain was fine. She beat all odds. And even when the doctor said, like, it doesn't look like she's gonna make it. She's not gonna make it. And that's all they said. And she beat all odds. She's here today. She's gonna be 8 years old in September. She doesn't really have any issues. If you see her now, she's right here to me. You would have never known that she was a premature baby. She's huge. She's tall. She's healthy. No issue, no hearing issues. She does have an eye issue where, like, the right side of her eye, when she looks to you from the side, will kind of roll back. That's due to a weak muscle. Obviously, there's nothing we can do about that. And she does have like a droopy eye, kind of droops a little bit. If you see like my pictures that I post of her, if you are following me on Instagram, you will notice her eyes kind of. But other than that, like, she's healthy. She amazes me. It's so insane to me that she was once 3 pounds. She dropped down to 2 pounds. And now she's almost as tall as me. And she's barely gonna be 8. It's so insane. And she literally has changed my world. She is the best thing that's ever happened. And I can't picture my life. And I honestly, looking back today, like right now, looking back at that, I mean, there's nothing really that I can do different, because I didn't even know I was gonna have an early baby. But anyways, she's healthy, and that's all I can thank God for. She is just amazing. But now, each pregnancy that I do have issues. I can't physically hold a baby. We figured out that I have cervical incompetence, so my cervix is not big enough to hold a baby. I have to get weekly shots, progesterone shots, to help me carry a baby. I have to get cervical checks every other week to see if I'm dilated. I start dilating. We figured out my weeks, because with Grayson and Noah, I started dilating at 24 weeks. That is when I start dilating. And I'm always, like, when they check me, I'm always like, oh, you're 4 centimeters. But yeah, pregnancy is rough for me, but I would do it over again to have them. They are amazing, and if you know them, you know just how amazing all 3 of those babies are. But that is my labor and delivery story with my firstborn. She is amazing. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are new, don't forget to subscribe. See you guys real soon. Bye.
I lose my breath whenever I see you. You stole my heart, what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors. Like the moon needs the sun, we don't care about the others. You set my world on fire. You're my heart's desire. I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Please tell me you'll stay